into Lithita Toyota of Abilene football Friday night. We start with this big hit by the Stanford Bulldogs on the Winters Blizzards. That's a good, clean, hard hit, and it's our best of the night. And welcome into the KTXS studios and Lithita Toyota of Abilene football Friday night. I'm Evan Nimitz. Rain-soaked bleachers and muddy fields couldn't stop high school football in the big country tonight, and we get right to the highlights. To Shotwell Stadium we go. Cooper facing Amarillo Caprock. The Cougars have a chance to gain ground in the district standings against the Longhorns tonight. Picking things up in the first half, Longhorns with the ball. Quarterback Ray Lugo trying to find Caleb Rodriguez, but it's knocked around, and Cooper's Brady Miller comes up with the pick. Next possession for Cooper. Handoff to Dalen Campos, and he will dance around. Look at how many people he makes miss him. Makes nearly the entire Longhorn team miss him before he's brought down around the 20. Same drive for the Cougs, keeping it on the ground. Thompson hands it off to Noah Garcia, who takes it for 6, and the Cougs go up early on Caprock. Later on in the first half, it'd be the same story. Sticking with that running game, Noah Garcia, a little hesitation move there. Gets a couple of good blocks, keeps the chains moving for the Cougs, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give it to Dalen Campos, the small guy, but he is speedy all the way into the end zone. Cooper beats Amarillo Caprock tonight 28-12. Here's head coach Aaron Rohn after the game.
I was pleased with the way we came out and performed today. I thought our kids gave good effort, executed well. Real proud of overall the way that they came out and played. We've got to make sure that we emphasize that we control us. That's what we're worried about is the guys on this football team, and make sure that that's what we're paying attention to. We've got to execute at a high level and make sure that everything that we're doing is about us. We've gotten better. It's a process, and there's things that we're going to watch, on film that we can continue to get better at, and we've got to continue to get better. We haven't played a perfect ball game yet, and we're looking to do that. So I'm pleased with where we are. I'm real proud of the way that we've been playing, and we're looking to continue to improve.
All right, so let's check out the updated District 2 5A Division I standings. Lubbock Coronado beat Monterey tonight. Close game, though. Coronado still 4-0 in district. Cooper jumps up to second place in district at 3-1. Caprock at 2-1. Amarillo High as well. They're tied for third place. Palo Duro in fifth place. So the Cougs now in second place in district. Now we go east to Dallas-Fort Worth, where it was rainy as it was here. Abilene High taking on 6-0 Haltom, one of the biggest surprise teams in the state after they took down Euless Trinity last week. Abilene High will hand off. That's a little sneaky play off to the edge, and that's a touchdown for Haltom. The Buffaloes are very good. They beat Trinity last week, and this is a team there's no fluke here. Abilene High trying to get something going here, but it's Haltom back with the football. Michael Black. Coach Devin Cox told us about him. He is speedy. He is difficult to bring down and more dangerous when he scrambles. And there you see it, about a 55-yard touchdown run by the Haltom Buffaloes, and that puts them up 2 scores on Abilene High. Close in. There have it, second down and about 11 at the 12-yard line. Callan Sipe scrambling towards the goal line. He stopped just short at the 2, and so Abilene High has it. They'll give it off. But trying to get in, Xavier Carrillo cannot muster his way in. He's down at the 2, and that would be a turnover on downs as Haltom will come back. Black with the long pass over the middle. Caught. Touchdown Haltom as Abilene High falls on the road this evening, 28-14. Our own Nick Mantis was in DFW after this one.
Here with Abilene head coach Del Van Koch. Coach, tough loss tonight, 28-14, the final score. What wasn't working for the team tonight?
Well, we had lots of penalties the first half and got drives off schedule, and that really hurt us. We missed some tackles in the first half. Missed one there in the third quarter that, we had to snap it past the quarterback, and they throw it to the flat, and we miss a tackle, and it goes 86 yards. So, that's that tells you the kind of athletes that they have. They've got an extremely good football team. There's a reason why they're 7-0. But man, I was was really proud of the way our kids they stayed in there and came in. We had Ezel, I thought, came in, did a good job at quarterback, got us a little spark going. But they got a really good football team, lots of good athletes. But man, I was really proud. We've got lots of football left, but we got to get ready to. We got to clean up some things.
And speaking about that, at the end, the team was able to come up with 14 points. What did you like about the fight of the team at the end of the game today?
That's the way we've always done. Our kids always, no matter what the score is, whether they're ahead or behind, they're going to keep on playing, and that's just what Abilene does, and it keeps you in games. And I had a chance to climb back into it, and I was really proud of that.
And looking forward, like you said, a lot more football to play. What do you hope the team takes from a game like this and moving forward?
Well, we kind of see how the rest of the district turned out. Hopefully, we try to earn a spot next week, with the win parent night against Weatherford. But we got to make sure that we're ready to go for next week.
Coach, as always, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
Again, the final score, 28-14 against the Haltom Buffaloes. Abilene High School does not get the win. But from Birdville, Nick Mantis, KTXS Sports.
Thank you so much, Nick. Let's check out the updated standings from this district. Haltom still in first place, a perfect 3-0 in district. Euless Trinity won tonight. They're at 3-1. San Angelo Central won as well. So Abilene High dips to 4th place at 2-2 in district. They will host Weatherford next Friday night at Shotwell Stadium. Later on Lithia Toyota of Abilene Football Friday night, it's our game of the week, the underrated rivalry, Baird and Cross Plains. Highlights from this district matchup, plus how a young man with autism has found his home within the Buffaloes program. That's coming up in just a bit on FFN. Many more games to get to. Wiley's got turf, so they were able to play at home tonight against Wichita Falls. No worries there. Old High in town. The Bulldogs still fighting for their first win of the year at 0-6, and things do not start well for Wiley. After a 3-and-out, looking to punt, the snap is way over Jackson McCaden's head. He can't get a handle on it. The Raiders fall on this one in the end zone for a safety. Later on in the first half, Wichita Falls with the ball, looking for the quick screen. Isaiah Cherry picks up a first down. That sets up the Raiders at first and goal for the Coyotes, but a score wouldn't come easy. The Bulldog defense comes up with the stop on first down, but then it's Anthony Vargas to Isaiah Johnson on the slant, and Old High takes the lead early on over Wiley. Next possession for the Coyotes. They stick with the passing game and stick with Johnson, who comes up with a big catch before he's brought down near midfield. That same drive for the Coyotes, they'd cap it off. Great throw from Vargas to A.J. Bird for 6. Wiley loses tonight 64-22, and the Bulldogs are now 0-7 this season. We had 2 potential district title deciding games tonight. The first one out in Snyder. Tigers at 5-2 overall, 2-0 in district, hosting Midland Greenwood, who's also perfect in district. First play of Greenwood's drive, Jake Summers throwing it up to Brody Ray, catching it over Julian Flores, and he takes it 80 yards for the Ranger touchdown. Greenwood leads 7-0. After a Snyder 3-and-out, Alex Rubio strips the ball away from Greenwood right there, and it's John Flores recovering for the Tigers, and Snyder takes over. But quarterback Logan Green, we spotlighted him a couple weeks ago. His pass right here is intercepted by Bailey Castile, and it's a pick 6, 14-0, Greenwood leading Snyder on the road. On the ensuing kickoff, though, Snyder answers. Nathan Kendrick takes the ball, makes a move right here, and goes to the house. However, that was Snyder's only score of the game as they lose to Midland Greenwood 49-7. Also in District 1, 4A Division II, Sweetwater at Pecos as the Mustangs aiming for their first victory of the year. After a kickoff return fumble, ball on the 3-yard line, Jonathan Aguilar keeps it and Pecos scores to go up 7-0. But Sweetwater doesn't waste any time. Alex Gallegos up the gut down the sideline, 28-yard TD. We're tied up at 7. Aguilar had a big game for Pecos from 1 yard out, another QB keeper, but Sweetwater earns its first win of the season over Pecos, 37-34. So let's check out these standings from District 1, 4A Division II. Greenwood now by itself in first place. Snyder is tied for second, but they hold that tiebreaker over Fort Stockton at 2-1. Monahans actually lost tonight, so they're 2-2. Sweetwater, first win of the season, not out of a playoff chance just yet. Here's our first top play nominee, Cross Plains quarterback Caleb Hernandez with the keeper that fakes a knee out. He breaks a tackle and he outruns the Bear defense for the 65-yard touchdown run, helping the Buffs push past the Bears tonight. That's our first play of the week nominee of the evening. And we'll show you the other two top play nominees throughout the show, and then you can vote for them starting later on tonight. But up next on Lithita Toyota of Abilene Football Friday night, they were slipping and sliding all around tonight. We had to Clyde, Merkel, and Stanford coming up next. Welcome back into Lithita Toyota of Abilene Football Friday night. We head to Class 3A now, and we talked about how competitive District 3, 3A Division I is, and tonight a meeting between two good teams that do not want to drop to 0-2 in district. Getting pumped up with the Clyde Bulldogs as first-year coach Scott Campbell gets his boys ready to take on early. We pick things up in the first half. Quarterback Dylan Newman keeping it himself, weaving through defenders, making it all the way down to the 35-yard line. Bulldogs still with the ball. Newman rolls out and finds the big man, Peyton Burton El Gallo Rojo, lowers his head for the first down. That same drive, Newman looking to throw, going to the end zone, and it's caught for 6. A great throw and catch, and the fans in Clyde were loving it. Later on in the first half, Newman will take a big hit here, but he throws a perfect pass to Burton once again. That's a big hit. Oh, Burton catches it, and there he goes down the sidelines. He's not going to be caught. A 70-yard touchdown. Props to Newman for sticking in there, and the Bulldogs looking to finish off the half with another score here. Newman loses his footing, chunks it deep, and Jax Rome is there. What a big play. Very next play. This Clyde offense just has a lot of playmakers. Newman will flip it out to Burton, and he's going to make a couple of defenders miss and take this one in for his second score of the game. He's got some speed, too, with that size. Clyde comes away with a big win, their first district win over early, 41-12. The Bangs Dragons snapped their 20-game losing streak a few weeks ago with a win over San Angelo Grape Creek, and now trying to avoid another skid against Merkel. The Badgers and the Dragons both sitting at 1-2 in District 4, 3A Division II. Early in the first half, Merkel with the ball. Quarterback Jonah White slings this one out to Adam Hathaway, who high steps his way down the sideline before he's brought down. That same drive, White will keep it himself, cutting back across the field before he's met by that wall of Bangs defenders. Now he's going to try to punch it in himself, but he just can't seem to move across that goal line. But if you can't go through him, go over him. Oh, Jonah White jumps over the line into the end zone for 6. Merkel takes the lead, and the Badgers beat Bangs 38-22. In Class 2A, a big game between 10th-ranked Stanford and the 5-2 Winners Blizzards. Winners with the ball, handoff to Nick Brown, shaking off a few Bulldogs and making his way down around midfield for a Blizzard first down. Blizzards love to keep the ball on the ground. This time they'll roll out a little screen play, finding Samaje Thompson, and Thompson takes a big hit from a Bulldog defender. We saw that on our best of the night earlier on in the show. Later on in the first half, Stanford with the football now, and our former KTXS Player of the Week, Peyton Bevel, drops back and finds his favorite target, Trace Edwards, in between two defenders. He takes it all the way to the end zone. 80-yard touchdown for the Stanford Bulldogs. They love to throw it, and they do it very well for the Bulldogs. Winters with the rock now, trying to respond. Nick Brown gets the toss, hits the sideline, and skates his way down inside the 5. And the very next play, Winters trying to punch it in, but they would be not denied. That's the end of the first quarter. No problem. The Blizzards punch it in. But in the end, it's Stanford winning this one over Winters 49-30. Here's our second top play nominee of the night. The handoff to Dalen Campos for Cooper. Watch him just juke, shimmy, shake and bake. All the moves against that Amarillo Caprock team, making nearly the entire Longhorn team miss before he's brought down. That's top play nominee number 2.
The Fan of the Week Game Ball, sponsored by Black Plumbing.
Week is back for this season. Each week we're handing out a KTXS Black Plumbing Game Ball to our Fan of the Week, and Tonight, to the Clyde Bulldog fans out there, and when you see our cameras at your game, be sure to show your team pride, and you could be our fan of the week and get one of these Black Plumbing game balls, courtesy of Black Plumbing. Coming up on Lithita Toyota of Abilene Football Friday night, more from Class 2A. Ken Hamlin's Pied Piper perfection continue tonight. And our game of the week, Cross Plains and Baird. You're watching the best high school football show in the big country.
Band of the Week, sponsored by Western Texas College, Snyder, Texas, WTC.edu.
Of the week, pure gold even through the rain. Bringing us back into Lithita Toyota of Abilene Football Friday night in Class 2A. One of the most consistent teams over the past decade has been Hamlin, and the Pied Pipers are perfect once again this year. Hamlin at 6-0 taking on the Haskell Indians. This game was moved to the Mustang Bowl in Sweetwater because of all the rain we had this week. Diving right into the first half, Pipers with the ball, handoff to Jackson Cepeda. Cepeda would plow his way through a couple of Haskell defenders. He's brought down near midfield. They will stick with Cepeda, following his blockers, and he's going to carry a couple Haskell Indians for some extra yardage. And just for good measure, they're just going to direct snap it to Cepeda. Diving across, touchdown, Hamlin, and the Pied Pipers take the early lead over Haskell. Later on in the first half, even more, Jackson Cepeda gets just tripped up by his shoestrings here. So close, but the Pied Pipers would finish the drive off with a touchdown run. Not by Cepeda there. That's Javon Williams, I do believe. Hamlin wins big over Haskell, 48-7. The Pipers are still perfect this season. Let's check out some scores from around the big country tonight. 11-man scores if we can. Eastland taking on Breckenridge. There we go, Eastland and Breckenridge. This was a barn burner in District 3, 3A Division 1. Eastland over Breckenridge, 44-41. Colorado City with a huge win over Idalou as the Wolves are in the driver's seat in that district now. That game was most likely going to be for the district championship. Jim Ned falls at Wall tonight, 41-27. Comanche with the shutout of Millsap, 28-zip. Also tonight, Anson gets a road win at Coleman, 42-13. Cisco cruises past TLCA, 68-zip. Ballinger over Grape Creek, a shutout win there, 46-0. DeLeon over Valley Mills, 42-21. And a couple more scores for you tonight. Goldthwaite loses to Crawford, 46-6. Ranger is handled by Winthorpe, 68-7. Wellington blasts Monday, 60-0. Albany over Roscoe, 49-6. Coming up on Lithia Toyota of Abilene Football Friday night, our game of the week, Baird and Cross Plains. This game was good, and the story behind it is even better. You don't want to miss it of how the Cross Plains mascot is finding his home within this program. But first, here's our cheerleaders of the week.
Here's this week's Cheerleaders of the Week, sponsored by Edible Arrangements.
Celebration when we say Cougar, you say Nation Cougar. Nation Cougar. Nation, join the sensation. We're Cougar. Nation with us, Cougar. Nation.
Here's this week's Game of the Week, sponsored by Abilene Indoor Gun Range.
Our game of the week on Lithia Toyota of Abilene Football Friday night. When Baird and Cross Plains meet, this is just hate. I saw Cross Plains people wearing shirts tonight that said, "Wake up, beat Baird, repeat." But in the midst of this small school rivalry, we have a young man who's found his place, a home within the Buffaloes program. It's our game of the week feature presentation. School spirit shines brightest at the pep rally before the big game. And in Cross Plains, there's one person whose love for his community stands out above the rest.
But nobody says Buffalo pride, Buffalo football like Andrew Carey.
Inside that Buffalo costume is sophomore Andrew Carey.
The Buffalo, what I do, I always make sure the little kids are recruited.
Andrew became the Cross Plains High School mascot this summer. His first order of business was to replace the old Buffalo suit.
We hate it because there's no fan circulation, none. We didn't have anything. So we decided to get a new costume to get a new air circulation so we can space a new life. So I don't have to have a heat stroke.
Yeah. He raised money for a new costume and almost reached his goal. Then a businessman who goes to church with Andrew stepped in.
And he gave me like a huge money that I was stunned. Like I have never seen anyone who just was kind enough to show us respect.
What did that feel like when he donated that money to you?
I felt shocked because we have enough money to get a new costume.
Andrew has autism and a speech impediment, but that's a much smaller part of his whole story.
If you don't know, you wouldn't know. And that's what makes him fun to be around. His passion is contagious. And whatever he does, whether it's bleeding purple or want to be good, judging or showing his horses, whatever else he's involved in, he does it all in. It's hard for a kid not to be passionate when he's being as passionate as he is.
And ask Andrew what he likes most about being Thunder the Buffalo, and it comes back to others.
Well, we're doing lots of dancing and interacting with kids, because we want to let the kids feel what they feel, because we don't want them to feel all alone.
Our kids take care of them more than they take care of anybody. You know, if any of our kids said they had a brother that wasn't kin to them, he's probably one of the first ones on their list.
What was your favorite part about today's pep rally?
Well, very part of me when I get hooked up in the air.
And they certainly love that young man in Cross Plains. All right, to the big game, the rivalry between the Buffs and Baird. Bears ball to start. Trace Price looks and fires to Cade Gobble. The first down pickup later on that drive. Price escapes the pocket. He's going to run it himself and watch the big hit into the mud on the sidelines. Cross Plains got called for a late hit, though, so that pushes Baird up 15 yards. And later on the drive, it's the give to the former KTXS Player of the Week, Jax Beller, pounding his way into the end zone. It's 6-0 Baird, just 3 minutes into the game. Cross Plains takes over. Sean Hernandez now at quarterback for the Buffaloes, hits Javon Tillery for a gain of 14. Then Hernandez will roll to his right, but there is nowhere for him to throw, and he's pulled down by Rylan Rogers for the sack. That forces the Buffaloes' punts. Baird has it, but they're pinned down close to their goal line after a few penalties. And the snap is high. Price can't handle it, and Logan Proctor falls on it for the touchdown. A big man's dream. He said it felt amazing. And we're tied up at 6 in the first quarter. Baird back with the ball. And watch this catch. Price to Ricardo Gonzalez. Grabs the ball between his legs and controls it and secures it in for a nice gain. However, Baird would have to punt. Cross Plains puts Caleb Hernandez back at quarterback. He's a great runner, and here he is on the read option, keeping it and going 68 yards for the Buffaloes touchdown. It's a top play nominee to put Cross Plains up 12-6. Baird will get the ball back. Price rolling and hitting Gobble on the sidelines for another Bears first down. Baird will go for it on 4th down here, but Price is picked off by Theron Allen as Cross Plains doesn't allow a point for the final 45 minutes of our game of the week, and the Buffs beat rival Baird 25-6. And the updated District 7 2A Division II standings. Well, you can see they've separated themselves from the haves and the have-nots. Hamlin, Albany, and Cross Plains all at 2-0. Baird, Roscoe, and Haskell all at 0-2.
Plays of the Week. Sponsored by Shredding Services of Texas.
Our top plays for week 8 already week 8 of the season. First at Shotwell Stadium, Cooper's Dalen Campos. I mean, he just makes everyone on that Caprock defense look silly. I don't know how many people he made miss, 7 or 8. For a nice Cooper run. into Caprock territory. Back out to Cross Plains where we just were. There's Caleb Hernandez faking out the Bear defense and moseying his way 65 yards for the Cross Plains touchdown. And then our third and final top play nominee for this week, we go out to Clyde. Dylan Newman. Watch, he's going to get rocked here. Lets the ball loose where Peyton Burton catches it and rumbles down the sideline for a 70-yard Clyde Bulldog touchdown. Those are your three top play nominees for Week 8.
Call of the Night, sponsored by Orange Theory Fitness.
And now on our call of the night, I do believe we're joined by Hamlin head coach Russell Lucas as the Pied Pipers make their way back from Sweetwater after tonight's win over Haskell. Coach Lucas, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, Evan. Thanks for having me.
Oh, Coach Lucas, good to hear from you. I tell you what, seeing the highlights from your team tonight, it was the Jackson Cepeda show, it looked like, at least early on. What did you like from your team tonight?
Well, I felt like we came out and played fast early. You know, anytime you're playing a district game, you want to make sure you set the right tone, and I thought we did that, and I was real proud of the way the kids played.
This has been an interesting week, not just for your team, but for pretty much everyone in the area of having to battle the weather. How do you practice inside some days, outside some? How did the weather affect your preparation for this week?
Well, we tried to get outside a little bit every day. We had a little bit of it inside every day, just because there's certain things that seem to work better inside without being in the rain. But we also knew that we probably got to play in it, so we did go outside for part of the workout all week.
And shoot, you moved your game from Hamlin to Sweetwater's Mustang Bowl. Well, not a bad place to play, by the way, but
it's great.
I'm sure they're very accommodating in Sweetwater for you guys. How do you think that your guys?
Our field was underwater, so
that's what I figured.
It would have been a sloppy mess.
How did you think your players handled just the changes that had to be made throughout the week of a lot of uncertainty going on just day by day?
Well, that's a whole lot that goes into that. You know, we talk to them all the time about you just can't. There's certain things you can control and certain things you can't control. And the weather's one of those things that we can't control, and so all we got to do is go out and try to do the best we can, and whether it's inside or outside. So I thought they did a great job because I felt like they were prepared when the game started tonight.
Every year it seems that your team is going to be competitive. I go to practice, I talk to the kids. They're usually not the biggest, they're usually not the fastest. But what is it about your players that they just seem to play well every single year? It's consistency at this point.
Yeah, well, it's hard to put a finger on that. Some of that is that our kids love the game of football. They're tough, you know, because they are going to be smaller sometimes, and they're not going to be the fastest ones. But they really love the game of football, and they really care about each other. You know, we have a group of kids that really enjoy playing together and practicing together and going to school together, just being friends. And when you get them out on the field together, it's pretty special.
The Pipers now 7-0 after tonight's win over Haskell. And Coach Lucas, looking ahead, the rest of the district schedule, you got to hear the highlights of Cross Plains and Baird. Cross Plains 2-0 now, and so is Albany, two teams that you'll have to face in the next 3 weeks before the regular season is up. What are your thoughts on the final 3 games of district?
Well, you know, it doesn't really matter who we're playing. Like we tell our kids, we got to get better. We got to focus on us. And then whoever happens to be on the other side, then we deal with that. And we prepare for them. But the whole lot of it's about just preparing ourselves for whoever we're going to be playing.
All right. And you always do a good job, it seems. Head coach Russell Lucas of the Hamlin Pied Pipers. Coach Lucas, thank you very much for taking the time out of a Friday night and visiting with us on Football Friday Night. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Evan. Appreciate it.
All right, Russell Lucas of the Hamlin Pied Pipers. That Hamlin-Albany game at the end of the season. It's the final game of the regular season. Still on track to be for the district championship on the line if things pan out like it looks like they might. All right, and that does it for another edition of Lithia Toyota of Abilene Football Friday Night. For everyone who's been a part of this one, I'm Evan Nimick. We thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.